What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of When, Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College football. Georgia Bulldogs versus Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Georgia has a 79% chance to win. Mississippi State has a 21% chance to win. This is at Mississippi State, so Georgia is five in the nation, 7-1 record. Mississippi State's unranked 5-4 record. So this could be a sneaky good game because largely because the cowbells, like in Davis Wade Stadium, there will be a lot of cowbells ringing at once, and so it could be that could affect Gunnar Stockton. And, so quarterbacks, of course, Gunnar Stockton, one for Georgia, 161 out of 229, 1776 yards, 12 touchdowns, two interceptions. Blake Shapen for Mississippi State, 166 out of 255, 2148 yards, 15 touchdowns, uh, six interceptions. So as far as quarterbacks go, obviously Shapen's thrown more interceptions, but he has more touchdowns and yards. That's it, so it's going to be a pretty interesting game, I would say. Um, with the way Georgia has performed in away stadiums, like what they did in Knoxville, you know, I think Georgia will beat Mississippi State tomorrow. BYU Cougars versus Texas Tech Red Raiders. BYU has a 39.1% chance to win, and Texas Tech has a 60.9% chance to win. This is at Texas Tech. So, for quarterbacks, you have Bachmeyer for BYU, 126 out of 201, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1693 yards. Morton for Texas Tech, 125 out of 184, 1750 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So this could be a good game. You know, a lot of the stats I would say are pretty comparable. So and with it being at Texas Tech, I think due to home field advantage, I think Texas Tech will beat BYU tomorrow. Texas A&M Aggies versus Missouri Tigers. Um, Texas A&M has a 56.1% chance to win. Mizzou has a 43.9% chance to win. This is at Missouri. So A&M is 3 in the nation, 8-0 record. Mizzou is 6-2 in the nation. Um, you know, 20, 22 nation, 6-2 record, and so this could be a good game. Quarterbacks you have Marshall Reed for A&M, 137 out of 223, 1972 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Probula for Mizzou, 158 out of 227, 1685 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So Reed's definitely the better quarterback here, so this could be a good game. I think with it being at Mizzou, I think Missouri beats Texas A&M tomorrow. Oregon Ducks versus Iowa Hawkeyes. Oregon is a 70.3% chance to win. Iowa is a 29.7% chance to win. This is at Iowa, so Oregon is 9 in the nation, 7-1 record, and Iowa is 20 in the nation with a 6-2 record. So yeah, the fact that this is at Iowa does make it interesting. So with quarterbacks, we have Moore for Oregon, 145 out 203, 1772 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Uh, Gronowski for Iowa, 107 out 165, 946, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So yeah, so this could get interesting, with it being at Iowa, but I think with the way Oregon's roster is, I think Oregon will beat Iowa tomorrow. Auburn Tigers versus Vanderbilt Commodores. Auburn has a 29% chance to win. Vandy has a 71% chance to win. This is, of course, at Vanderbilt, so this could be an interesting game. So, yeah, so Auburn's unranked 4-5 record. Vandy is 16 the nation, 7-2 record. So, yeah, it's weird when Vanderbilt is basically confirmed for a bowl game at this point. But yeah, with quarterbacks, you have Jackson Arnold for Auburn, 133 out of 210, 12, 78 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And Pavia for Vanderbilt, 166 out of 240, 20, 63 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So like these, this could be a good game. We have, it could be really like it could actually be a really good game. But with it being with Vanderbilt sucking, drilling Auburn will usually being a little better. But this year's a little different. I think with it being at Vanderbilt, I think that's gonna matter. I think Vanderbilt will beat Auburn tomorrow. Wake Forest Demon Deacons versus Virginia Cavaliers. Wake Forest is 21.5% chance to win. Virginia is a 78.5% chance to win. This is at Virginia. So, Wake Forest, you have Ashford at quarterback, 107 out 183, 1298, 88 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Morris for Virginia, 189 out of 222, 2069 yards. 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yeah, so yeah, so definitely Morris is definitely the better quarterback than Ashford. And I think that'll be a big deal here, along with the home field advantage for Virginia. So I think Virginia will beat Wake Forest tomorrow. College men's basketball. Alabama Crimson Tide versus St. John Red Storm. Alabama has a 32.2% chance to win. St. John's has a 67.8% chance to win. Um, this is, at Madison Square Garden, so, home field advantage is not going to matter here. But technically, St. John's is considered the home team in this. But yeah, so I don't think there's going to be big home field advantage. Um, yeah, this could be a good game. You know, I think with it being Madison Square Garden, also St. John's is ranked very high, 8th in the nation, so it's a good roster. So I think that St. John's will beat Alabama tomorrow. Arkansas Razorbacks versus Michigan State Spartans. Arkansas has a 41.3% chance to win. Michigan State is a 58.7% chance to win. Um, this is yeah. This is at Michigan State. So yeah. So then basically, so this you have your Arkansas's 14 nation, 1-0 record. Michigan State's 22 nation, 1 record. So you have two comparable teams at I would say a neutral site stadium. So that's gonna be a big deal. You know, I think with it, with the way rosters are done on neutral site field. I think Arkansas will beat Michigan State tomorrow. NBA. Toronto Raptors versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Raptors have a 32.2% chance to win. The Sixers have a 67.8% chance to win. This is at Philadelphia. So for the Raptors, you know basically they don't really have any injuries today, while Sixers have Don Blaylock and Paul George both out. But so far as the rosters, so for the Raptors you have Sky Barnes, R.J. Barrett, Jameson Battle, Brandon Ingram, uh, Jacoby Walter. But yeah, it could be decent roster. Then with the Sixers, you have Johnny Broom, um Joel Embiid, Eric Gordon, Lowry. Um yeah, so this could be a good game, I think, with the players that the Sixers have left after injuries. I think the 76ers will beat the Toronto Raptors tomorrow. Los Angeles Lakers versus Atlanta Hawks. The Lakers have a 40.3% chance to win, and the Hawks have a 59.7% chance to win. This is at Atlanta. So for injuries, you have Max Kleber is a game time decision for the Lakers. Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Ado Thiero, and Gabe Vincent are out. And then for the Hawks, you have Luke Heron, Trey Young are both out. So you have some big names out in this game. And so with what they have left, you have Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes, Bronny James. Yeah, and then for the Hawks, without Trey Young, you have the Kelly, Alexander Walker, Dyson Daniels. Um, yeah, so that's interesting way. So instead of a fight, it's a race. Makes some sense. But yeah, with how young I think you know the like the Falcon like the Hawks team, like basically in comparison to the Lakers, like, I think the Lakers, like, due to experience, they're gonna play better, and I think the Lakers will beat the Hawks tomorrow. Chicago Bulls versus Cleveland Cavaliers. The Bulls have a 24.4% chance to win. The Cavs have a 75.6% chance to win. This is at Cleveland. For injuries, you have Kobe White and Zach Collins are out for the Bulls. For the Cavs, Lonzo Ball and Dean Wade are out. Max Truss is out. Yeah, that's bro. So for the Bulls, the rest of the roster, you have Jevon Carter, Ayo Dosunmu, Trenton Flowers, Josh Giddey, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, Manuel Miller. So yeah, I mean, decent roster. With the Cavs, you have Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter, Donovan Mitchell, Larry Nance Jr. Yeah, so this could be a really good game. And with it being at Cleveland, I think the Cavaliers will beat the Bulls tomorrow. Portland Trailblazers versus Miami Heat. The Blazers have a 41.8% chance to win. The Heat has a 58.2% chance to win. This is at Miami. So with injuries, you have, Shaden Sharp, Blake Wesley. Uh, so Sharp is game time decision. Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, and Scoot Henderson are out. Damian Lillard is out for a season. And for the Heat, Bam Adebayo and Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero, after they're out. So yeah, this could be a decent game. The Blazers, they have Javante Jeremy Grant, um, Caleb Love, Chris Murray. So yeah, who knows? And then for the Heat, their roster, you have you have Nikola Jovic, Drew Smith, Andrew Wiggins, Jameer Young. Yeah, so and then for the Heat, you have yeah, Keyshawn Johnson, Kasparas Jakusionis, um Davion Mitchell, Drew Smith, Jameer Young. So yeah, this could be a good game. As far as roster standpoint, obviously never difference there. I think with the Heat, like I think the Heat will beat with it being a home game for them. I think they will beat the Blazers tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.